got some live breaking news, everybody. President Trump just went on an absolute steamroll of demands, grievances, in the most probably direct and implicit way that I've ever seen. If you've had any frustrations, and I know you have because I have, over the lack of, let's just say, accountability, to be polite, to this DOJ and the agencies involved, this video is for you because Trump goes absolutely off. I've never seen him post in this direct kind of a way. I mean, he's very direct. He's quite frankly probably the most direct of all time, right? But this is like a whole new level. And I think this is directed at a very specific individual. I'm going to share with you everything he dropped in the last 18 to 22 hours, including a huge bomb he just dropped this morning. You got to check this out. Okay, so here's the first one that he dropped yesterday. And I'm just kind of going to try to go through these in chronological order. And then I'm going to end with the one that I think is the most direct. He's demanding justice. He's demanding accountability. He's demanding everything we've been wanting. So his first of many says, everyone is asking about the Autopen. Everyone is asking about the Autopen. Is that you? Is that me? The taxpayers, the citizens who voted for him, the people who are fed up with all the lies, deceit, corruption by this, and fraud by this Democrat Party. I don't know about you, but we're coming through a very big tax season. And with all the corruption and fraud that's been coming out, I don't blame American taxpayer. I certainly am one of those American taxpayers for not having this thought cross their head. Why the hell am I paying taxes when it's all going to Somali daycares? And 10 times worse, God knows. I would even go out on a limb, folks, to say that half of our national debt, maybe even more, is due to Democrat fraud. Yes, 36 trillion and counting. Everyone is asking about the Autopen. What was done is totally illegal. And anything signed that way is of, quote, no further force or effect. The person who worked the Autopen had no idea whether or not Biden approved of what he was doing. There was no order in writing, and it was an absolutely illegal act perpetrated by the radical left insurrectionists who illegally ran the Biden administration. If you think about it, guys, this is like the biggest crime in the United States of America. If not top 2, 3, it's in the top 5. I mean, we have no idea if this guy was even conscious for his entire presidency. I have my theories about 2020, and I've talked about it at length on this channel, but I don't want to digress. Every one of them should be, here's the biggie, here's the real crux of this post. Every one of them should be arrested, Trump says, for what they have done to our country. 100% agree. They didn't win the presidency, but when you think of it, neither did Joe Biden. The whole thing was rigged. There must be a price to pay, and it has to be a big one. President Donald J. Trump. Couldn't agree more. And I think if you don't go after Obama, remember Tulsi Gabbard in that huge press conference over last summer, where she unequivocally stated that President Obama was the architect of the Russia collusion hoax right after President Trump won in 2016. He was the one who ordered his then CIA director and other intelligence officials, Brennan, Clapper, all of them, to essentially come up with the fake dossier, to essentially enact this Russia collusion psyop that lasted 10 years. It needs to start at the top, and I hope that's what he means. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. This one's a really big one. I mean, a lot of people, even my wife was saying, what in the world is going on with Greenland? Why is he even thinking about this? Why is he even doing this? And you know what? I have something to say about this, but we've been talking about Greenland for a very, very long time. He's been talking about Greenland. He's been talking about Canada. There's even some provinces in Canada that are demanding, I think Quebec is one of them, demanding that they be the 51st state. They want to secede from Carney, who just made a slap in the face deal with one of our arch enemies, if not our number one adversary, China. China. Trump's posted this about what's happening in Denmark. You've got countries, France, Germany, Denmark, and others in the European Union who are sending troops to Greenland, which to me, what the hell are you guys thinking? After everything we've done for you, you're gonna kind of incite something by you're sending military to a very close proximity satellite a country of ours that we've protected. Trump has made it known that they only have a couple of dog sleds to be their basically their armed forces, and he's not incorrect. I looked that up. But this is a really weird thing. But I want to tell you what Trump said, and then I'll talk about it. We have subsidized Denmark and all other countries of the European Union and others for many years by not charging them tariffs or any other forms of remuneration. And he's right about this. Now, after centuries, it is time for Denmark to give back. World peace is at stake. China and Russia want Greenland, and there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it. They currently have 2 dog sleds. Dog sleds. What they have is 2 dog sleds as protection. One added recently. Only the United States of America under President Donald J. Trump can play in this game, and very successfully at that. Nobody will touch this sacred piece of land, especially since the national security of the United States and the world at large is at stake. On top of everything else, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland have journeyed to Greenland for purposes unknown. This is, I mean, it is abhorrent. This is an insult, to put it mildly. I mean, what are you guys thinking after every, I mean, if it wasn't for us, you guys would all be speaking Schweinsteiger. How dare you? This is a huge slap in the face. This is a very dangerous situation for the safety, security, and survival of our planet. Now, you may think that that's just a kind of statement, you know, that he's very hyperbolic, but this is, I'm going to come back to that. That's a huge statement and very true, actually. These countries who are playing this very dangerous game have put a level of risk in play that is not tenable or sustainable. Therefore, it is imperative that in order to protect global peace and security, strong measures be taken so that this potentially perilous situation end quickly and without question. Starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This is a long one. He continues. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. The United States has been trying to do this transaction for over 150 years. Many presidents have tried, and for good reason, but Denmark has always refused. Now, because of the Golden Dome and modern-day weapon systems, both offensive and defensive, the need to acquire is especially important. Hundreds of billions of dollars are currently being spent on security programs having to do with, quote, the dome, end quote, including for the possible protection of Canada. And this very brilliant but highly complex system can only work at its maximum potential and efficiency because of angles, mets, and bounds if this land is included in it. The United States of America is immediately open to negotiation with Denmark and or any of these countries that have put so much at risk, despite all that we have done for them, including maximum protection over so many decades. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, just really quickly, I just want to say this, okay? So Denmark is an extremely strategic geopolitical landmass. It is the center of the transatlantic sphere, if you will. It connects both hemispheres, east and west. And the United States has gone above and beyond. And actually, Nick Shirley, speaking of amazing reporters and amazing Americans, Nick Shirley actually did a video. I'm not going to show you any clips right now, but he actually went and visited Greenland and talked to the citizens, and the majority of them, and he always does a really good, fair job of being objective and amassing a big pool of people to kind of get a good sense of what's going on. The majority of them said, we are sick and tired of Denmark. We want to be Americans. We want Trump. Why wouldn't you want to be America? Why wouldn't you want to be a part of the greatest nation that mankind has ever known? Why wouldn't you? We are the most gregarious, generous, altruistic citizens and nation this world has ever known. By the way, we're the first nation to fight each other over an end to a historical blight that has haunted us for hundreds of years, and that's slavery. So we've done a lot. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but we've done a lot, and we've shown our goodwill. We've shown our heart, our integrity, our ethos over the years. Why wouldn't you? Plus, we have the greatest military of all time. Well, we're going to protect you guys. And here's the crux. China, Russia, North Korea, India, these are countries, Pakistan, Iran. I mean, don't even get me started on Iran. I'm not happy about what's happening with Iran. I think Trump really needs to follow through and help the Iranian people, because we're in the red zone now. This is it. If we don't help Iran, anyway, it's really saddening. I don't want to get into that right now. But China, Russia, North Korea, and other countries, you saw what happened. China trying to make deals with Maduro. You see what's happening. China making deals with Canada. I mean, this is why I'm not president and you're not president. This is geopolitical chess. And if we don't win that game, the stakes can't be higher. So that statement that he made, where he said that the entire world is at stake, global security is at stake, he's not kidding. And Greenland is a big part of that. That is a huge amount of real estate, and it would secure America for centuries to come. And the people, this is the most important part, the people want it. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Is this ridiculous, absurd? Should we forget about that? Should we allow the European Union to just put their troops there and basically provoke some kind of conflict, God forbid? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Trump also posted this today saying ICE, this is regarding the domestic chaos that's happening under Fried Brain Frey and Tampon Tim, which, by the way, articles of impeachment, in case you haven't heard, are being introduced to impeach Tampon Tim. Long overdue, if you ask me. Trump says ICE is removing some of the most violent criminals in the world from our country and bring them back home where they belong. Why is Minnesota fighting this? Do they really want murderers and drug dealers to be ensconced within their community? The thugs that are protesting include many highly paid professional agitators and anarchists. And if they're not, how are they able to do this? How are they able to do this in the middle of the day, in the middle of a work week? Do none of these people have jobs? Like, it makes no sense. They are being paid. That just proves it. He continues, is this really what Minnesota wants? The crooked governor and Congresswoman Omar, who married her brother, he's going off. Don't mind, because it keeps the focus of attention off the $18 billion plus fraud that has taken place in the state. Don't worry, we're on it. I've talked about this so many times. You know, it used to be called treason when you sided with the enemy. Now it's called being a Democrat. And now you've got all these Holly weirdos wearing pins on their lapels, supporting a deranged lunatic who tried to run over one of these hardworking law enforcement officers. Where's the pin for Patty Marin's daughter, Rachel Marin? Where's the pin for Laken Riley? Where's the pin for Jocelyn Nungaray? You won't see that. Why? Doesn't fit the narrative, and they need to protect their voters. Okay, here's the coup de grace. Here's the one that I saved best for last. Boy, oh boy, we've covered, before I kind of get into this, we've covered this entire case, the sham trial by Judge Fake Don Juan Merchan, and then you've got the falsified business documents, the $500 million charge against Trump, which got reduced. Thank God, because there's some people with sanity in the Supreme Courts of New York. When she tried to go after Trump for falsifying real estate documents, when she's the one who lied on loan documents. Trump posted this. We have some new information on disgraced former attorney of Trump, turncoat Benedict Arnold. I almost said Paul Revere. Trump says these horrible radical left people doing everything possible to destroy our country should pay a big price for this. It was a setup from the beginning. New York courts with many fair and wonderful judges are embarrassed by what has happened. We cannot let this pass. Michael Cohen. Now, here's the article. Watch this. So, an article in the New York Post says that Michael Cohen now says he was coerced. He was coerced. He wrote this, quote, "I felt compelled and coerced to deliver," look at the top of your screen, "what they were seeking," end quote, Cohen wrote. He continued, quote, "Letitia James and Alvin Bragg may not share the same office or political calendar, but they share the same playbook." Now, this is a guy that I could trust as far as I can throw him. He is an absolute disgrace of a human being, a turncoat, a liar, a thief, a grifter. This is the same guy who goes on TikTok and he live streamed all throughout 2024, completely defaming President Trump to try to get him from not being elected. So now that Trump's in power, he's just a ridiculous, spineless mook. But this kind of testimony works for Trump. Why? This kind of statement works for Trump. Why? Because it just proves that it was lawfare. And he can use that. And when he says, "I want justice and it needs to be big," this is what he could be talking about. So Cohen continued saying, quote, "From the time I first began meeting with lawyers from the Manhattan DA's office and the New York Attorney General's office in connection with their investigations of President Trump and through the trials themselves, I felt pressured and coerced to only provide information and testimony that would satisfy the government's desire to build the cases against and secure a judgment and convictions against President Trump." Continues, "During my time with prosecutors, both in preparation for and during the trials, it was clear they were interested only in testimony from me that would enable them to convict President Trump." So this is absolutely huge, because as if Trump didn't need any more evidence to prove that it was lawfare, that this was weaponization, that they didn't have grounds. Remember, when we covered this in 2024, I had expert lawyer, expert attorney, even Democrat Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz admitted with a multitude of other legal experts that these are the most ridiculous charges, that in their 50, 30, 40-year history of litigating, they've never seen anything like it, right? We covered this extensively. But as if Trump needed any more, Michael Cohen's an attorney, as stupid and feckless and as spineless as he is, he knows what he's doing right now. He's trying to save his ass. And by the way, he's handing Trump a conviction of Alvin and Letitia Big Shame James on a silver platter, because this will go on the record. This can be used in a court of law against this political lawfare. And so the fact that Cohen is doing this, obviously he's doing it to save his ass, is huge for President Trump. And that's why he posted that post. They need to pay a big price and a big price only. Now, I want to kind of get your thoughts on everything. Please let me know in the comments down below. But remember how I said at the top of this video, I think this is directed at one person specifically. All of these posts, as a matter of fact. And I would say that is directed solely on the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Now, I've said it many, many times. I've been frustrated. I know you've been frustrated. I'm sure she has good intentions, but maybe this job is overwhelming her. It seems that Trump is hinting at something. Maybe Pam Bondi might get removed. She just doesn't work at the kind of pace. And it might even be a clue as to why Dan Bongino quit. I don't know. That could be a whole nother thing too. I'm not really happy about him quitting at all, to be honest with you, just to go back to podcasting. But that's just me. I have a question for you. If President Trump, first of all, do you think President Trump should remove Pam Bondi? Let me know down below. But here's the big one. Who should President Trump replace Pam Bondi with? I have my thoughts, but I can't wait to hear yours. Let me know in the comments down below. A lot of people saying Judge Perino, which is interesting, very interesting. She is a pistol, but I'd love to get your comments on this below and let me know what you think of everything that we've shared. Please tap that thumbs up if you love America. We're trying to make common sense go viral. You can help. It takes you less than a nanosecond. Just tap that thumbs up. Even if you want to, you can even do it if you're watching on TV with your remote. It would really, really help us out. Thank you. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the United States of America and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.